The color brown. The color brown of the sun melts at the parting of your lips, chapped and licked, while you sip tea, simmering with green cardamoms and brown cinnamons. The fading lilac evening reflects from the black velvet of your round bindi and the dying embers of autumn home to the black pools of your eyes. Your eyes, broad and stretched exceptionally to the perimeter of your oval brown face, shimmer from the laments of a sarod on loop. The wails of a courtesan through centuries spiral from the gramophone and poise atop the dust and wilted parsleys, basils and thymes, undocumented. The courtesan must have been Artemis, with a voice as bleached as her cries for the crown prince, enamored beyond legacy, she thinks. Her eyes have been praised like a doe's. The twining fingers have been flirted too, and the melanized lips have kissed many a man, promising to her a crescent moon. But her skin, coffee brown, bubbling on winter blues, like a conjoined twin, has involuted and unfurled into every conversation and stares. The monozygosity has laughed at men who failed at distinguishing her nipples and vulva from her bland epidermis on the nights of the stars. They knew a woman's anatomy and the lumps of fats and flesh along the cranial caudal axis with their spatial relation. These men were never granted a provision of labeling brown not beautiful, but she believed by spoken and unspoken decisions that white was pious, pure, and celestial. You lean against the baluster, and the ripened pumpkin's air swirls nonchalantly in your undulating tresses, creeping up to the white silver skirting your broad waist. The color brown of your extended fragment lending you company on the monotonous loneliness of the wood-paneled veranda whispers to you in the heightened shrill of an 8-year-old that brown does not look good on camera, especially when the filter is monochrome. Brown has to be religiously splattered with multani mitti, still a lighter shade, and sandalwood dotted like albino carcinomas. Because brown does not fit the coy wedding draped in scarlet or black and white striped grief at a funeral. Brown is neither the purple of the nightly intimacies nor the pink love of early teens. But brown is what makes the mystics reminisce over the busts of monsoon clouds and banyan prop roots. They make themselves intricate necklaces, bracelets, and anklets of mud and sing bridal jingles because they know that torrential rains like poetry descend and drip from the mango blossoms and rush veiled to the overflowing niches of the copse. The browns she knows are anonymous funeral marches to the acres of buried, burnt cotton. Her browns, even in the timber graves, are the cries of dissent and the paralysis of the testimonials impaired at the spectral mappings. She does not want to imagine very well that those like her, of shades from cooked earth to blighted wheat, sieve gold and honey, and smoke the crudest tobacco between their caked, bleeding fingers. Their elemental existence is art to the white. Do their tongues, thick with caramel furrows, pray for the dear departed without taking names, or struggle for and in the proposed equity at supper? Do their clubbed Oriental, Amazonian, and Ethiopian accents wriggle in the rumbling tummies while their breasts, bellies, and buttocks bend, arch, and tremble submissively to the Pied Pipers and snake charmers of infectious hope? The rose water smelling of corpses beautifies their unclaimed bodies in ancient Turkic baths before leaving behind seedlings of fossilized hearts whose white tears make them no lesser brown. You do not reply a word to your clone. You have lived a countless brown lives within the chocolate brown of yours. You distinctly remember your childhood when each afternoon and night you scrubbed diatomaceous earth and Mediterranean salts across each inch of your skin in the hope that all the brown you had learned to label filthy would skin and white skin would regenerate over the expanse of your 5 inches body. When no one was looking, you even gulped down multani mitti with turmeric milk. You had seen your mother, the one who in abundance made sure her ovum was the darkest brown, never wear anything but purple, black, and crimson. Your white siblings were the porcelain dolls, the inheritors of everything important. You had hung on to optimism and wet your pillows and complained to your favorite doll that in school you made the grammar classes easier for being the opposite of fair, and that the kids who rode in white cars never shared your food for the fear of being tanned. Because you were also opposite to what desirable women are supposed to be like, you made sure from your 20s to step out after blending in the ill-matching foundation and concealer. Years later, when you stopped crouching behind the vanity of the tinted correctors, you met a man who claimed to be head over heels for you. He had gifted you plum lipsticks and argued that a crack he knew could cure you. In black tuxedo and grey tie, he had attempted 100 times to prove that brown children were a liability. His departure was followed by a few more men walking in and leaving of love. Many had nothing to do with brown, but neutral issues like forgetting to love. Thus, years later, when a therapist attempted reasoning, "So tell me, what makes you not happy?" you failed answering that your head and the insides of your peritoneum had started browning. You had taken a few more years to finally pen a love letter to your upper lip mole, bushy eyebrows, thick lustrous hair, collarbones, and ankles. Postscript to it, you had scribbled and highlighted that brown was also Draupadi who refused to cower before patriarchy. You still continue to probe though why brown art, brown dance, brown music, brown poetry, brown stories are secondary to every brown face. Why fecundity is a direct function of a shining copper and making dinner. Why are browns easier to stain with allegations and compelled to live under covers of still airs of silent nights? Since your first visit, you have been mimicking the therapist's trailing chirp, self-love, into your everyday existence. Now, red, yellow, orange, green, blue, gold, Silver and diamonds glow like neon glow worms of acceptance on brown as well to you. You lung in copious colorless air and sigh to the aging silver air. The clone standing under the sodium lamp shifts to another mulatto variant. She smiles, and you, twirling the pearls on your finger, smile. A human is a human is a human.